In this video, I'm talking about dreams I've had about people dying. It's a sensitive subject, and I just want to put out there my intention is just to share what I've been getting in my dreams. I don't want people to come at me for talking about dreams of people dying. It's not anything I have control over, so I'm not trying to get dreams like this. I'm simply committed to reporting what type of dreams I have come true, and that includes a few about death and my response to them. As I mentioned in an earlier video, I had a dream that mentioned the death of someone in my family, and it turned out the date of the dream played a role in the date of their passing a few years later. We had two people by the same name, so I didn't know who it was referring to or any other information. It wasn't until later, after the fact, that I saw the date of the dream matched the passing date years later. Dreams of death are never something I anticipate. You go to bed at night hoping for a good night's sleep, and if you have some interesting dreams, it's a plus. Dreaming about death is always a concern, and not knowing if it's the real deal or I'm just getting pranked in my dreams has always been a concern to me that I hope to work out one of these days. I've read books by others who have experienced psychic dreams in an effort to try to understand what is happening to me. Unfortunately, it seems that we can have unique experiences, and one person's experience does not mean it will happen to you the same way. I read one book titled Dreamer, 20 Years of Psychic Dreams and How They Changed My Life. I found it pretty interesting, but the author always knew the time frame of the dream in question. He made a conscious choice not to let people know if there was a dream involving them. It's a personal choice, and I've struggled with what to do, but for the most part, I'm not usually given dates, with a few exceptions, to be able to warn someone. But a few years ago, I had a startling dream about a girlfriend of mine. I hadn't seen her in a while, and by chance, she was coming over a few days after the dream to borrow some photography props from me for a photo shoot. It was the last week in March, and the dream was very short and to the point. I was being told by an unseen source that on April 1st, my friend was going to die in a car crash DUI incident. She doesn't drink, so it wouldn't have been her fault. I was immediately perplexed. On the one hand, it could be a junk dream. On the other, it could happen. I thought about the author of the book I had read and his choice not to tell anyone. I had a date attached to this one, which was unusual for me. I thought about not telling her and how I would feel if something happened. I'd have to live with that for the rest of my life. But she might think I was crazy. I felt the odds were that she would think I was crazy. After a couple of days of contemplation, trying to meditate on it for any other information I could get, I settled on having a chat with her. When she came over to pick up the props for a newborn session, I asked her to sit down. There was something I wanted to talk to her about. I could see the look of puzzlement cross her face. She was a serious, no-nonsense kind of woman, and I had known her for quite a few years at this point. I dreaded saying anything that might change her opinion of me for the worse. But I was committed to sharing the dream. I didn't tell her the whole story, but I told her that I had a troubling dream, and because I'd had enough dreams come true, I felt it was safer to say something to her just in case. I told her to take care on the road on April 1st. I didn't tell her anything else to do. April 1st came, and I was glued to the news and checking in on my friend's social media to see if she was posting and still with us. Everything seemed okay as far as I could tell. The next week, I saw her at our local dog park where we ran into each other frequently, and I asked her what she did on the 1st. She said she did not leave the house. I breathed a sigh of relief. but there really was no way to know for sure if I had adverted her being in an accident, if anything would have happened or not. It's not like we get a follow-up dream to validate how the change in actions affected the events. I can only hope that it helped keep her here a bit longer. I'm not really sure how it affected what she thinks of me, but she's still here and still speaks to me, so that's enough for me. Then last week, I was reviewing my 2017 journal, and I found a dream I had completely forgotten about. It was a dream about my part-time video assistant. He's a talented young guy in his 20s. The dream told me his girlfriend Jennifer was going to die. She would be murdered. That was all the information I got. At the time, he had a girlfriend by another name, so I brushed it off and the dream was soon forgotten. By 2021, I hadn't seen my assistant in a few years. He had another job and was very busy, but I followed him on social media to keep up with his life. In November of 2021, he posted something cryptic about losing people too soon, and he sounded very, very sad. I reached out to see if he was okay, and 3 days before, his new girlfriend had been killed in a car crash. She was a backseat passenger in a car with several other people stopped at an intersection when a drunk driver came barreling into their car and she was killed at the scene. The DUI driver of the car that hit them was driving with a suspended license for a previous DUI incident. He was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Her name was not Jennifer, but I will take it as a close enough match to include the name of my assistant, the relevant relationship of his girlfriend, and murder, which was the charge. Clearly, there was nothing I could have done in this case to prevent anything. I don't think I was meant to. I only just found the dream last week, and I reached out to my assistant to tell him. I looked the story up of his girlfriend, who was only 25, beautiful and full of life. She had a recent birthday, sharing on her social media that she was looking forward to the next 50 birthdays. It was so tragic and sad. I really feel for her family and friends. I suspect I picked up on the event, even as vague as it was, because I would eventually connect with my assistant only 3 days after he lost her and feel the full impact of his grief. These are the type of dreams I wish to not come true, but if we are picking up on future events, dreams like these are going to happen from time to time. I have other dreams that I won't share about other people close to me because I'm going to be praying like mad they don't happen. Some people might think dreams like this would make you want it all to stop. Stop having dreams that show aspects of the future. We can't cherry pick what dreams come to us. And if I want the good news to show up, I have to take the bad as well sometimes. I find it so interesting to connect with future events. I just want to understand it better. I shared the dream of my assistant's girlfriend in my Facebook group, Real Dreams, and the mother of my friend Jennifer, who died in 2020 of cancer, shared that one night when Jennifer was in college, she dreamed about someone dying. She called her mom to tell her, and her mom had the same dream. Jennifer called around to her friends, and it turned out the younger brother of her boyfriend had just died 30 minutes before. They were stunned. We are all connected in ways we can't even imagine. Our dreams tell us so much about what we are processing at the time, advice and even glimpses of the future, and our connections to those in our lives and those we have yet to meet. Writing our dreams down is the first step to working with them and then finding events that might be showing up even years later. I would never have remembered the dream about my assistant's girlfriend had I not written it down. If you would like help with remembering your dreams, check out my video 10 Ways to Improve Dream Recall. To learn more about my story, you might read my book, Sleeping with Spirit, A Journey with Psychic Dreams. There's a link to it in the description below. It's never too late to start recording your dreams. You never know what will show up. Please help support my channel by subscribing now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Sweet dreams.